Starting off bright and early Tuesday morning here in Grand Haven, Michigan, where it's a beautiful, partly cloudy day. Cold again. We have Wednesday's class is going to be dealing with finessing, and thought I'd tease that class by giving you a short little three-hand movie here, using the first three problems from a great book on finessing by Hugh Kelsey. Hugh Kelsey is a Scottish bridge player, a champion, played lots of championship bridge, but is primarily known as a writer. He is a huge success, wrote some 60 books, two of which are must-haves in a collection and in your bridge education. Killing Defense at Bridge, largely credited for establishing the partnership bridge defense ideas that we use routinely now. And also Advanced Card Play, which is a tome of a book, and very serious, has very serious stuff. I haven't gotten into yet. I have it here someplace. Killing Defense I've been working through for a while. I love it. Then he wrote these little pamphlets, like 30, 40 problems in each one, in something called the Master Bridge series, on all sorts of topics. And I have a little book called Test Your Finessing. I was turned on to Hugh Kelsey by BBOID Zasanya, and Rudy Sensgiri, a great Indian bridge player, and who was my mentor. And these three problems are kind of fun, and I thought I'd run them. Kelsey died in 1995 in Edinburgh, where he was born, and his books will be around forever, and you can find them in print still. I had to find these Master Bridge series. I don't think are in print. Maybe they are. This one I got used from a shop in England, which was mailed to me, so I paid quite a bit more than it looks like it would be worth. This dirty old copy, maybe 100 pages long. All right, so one of the things Kelsey talks about in the book is that his premise is that people take the finesse for granted. Every bridge player knows how easy it is to take a finesse, right? Lead at that ace queen, and if your queen wins, then it wins. But you and I wanted you to think back to our first weeks together and talking about positional value of honors, right? That's what the finesse is built on, the idea that the queen is going to play after the hand that has the king, right? And that's going to make these finesses. And of course, you can finesse any cards. As you can see in this first hand, we have two finesse positions already. Now, maybe you'll get lucky and our partner will come down with a king in the suit. We won't need to worry about it. This potentially could be opened two clubs, I think, but I'm going to go ahead and open a heart and see what my partner does. Partner makes a forcing one no trump bid. Opponents are passing. I'm going to make some sort of jump. I got 5, 6, 12, 18 points. Could jump to 3 clubs here. Right, establishing a game for us. And see what my partner does with that. And he chooses just to bid 4 hearts. Another way to have done this would have been to invite with your points here, but it's a very strong hand. You could have just jumped in hearts if you wanted, which is a virtual game for us, right? Basically telling your partner bid 4 if you have a pulse, right? And partner had a pulse, right? I mean, if he had 5 points, 6 points, maybe he wouldn't. But if he had anything else, he should definitely go to 4 hearts. So either way to get there is fine, and we get the king of spades as a lead. We count our losers, and we count them all when we start, right? So that means in the club suit, we have 3 losers, queen, 9, 4. We're going to have to find a way to deal with those losers. We have a diamond loser, the queen of diamonds, and we have the spade loser. So there's 5 losers. If you want to count your winners, kind of fun, in a hand like this, where you get depressing news when you count your losers, you can see that we have 6 heart losers, a diamond loser, and a club loser. Right? And if we could just win 2 finesses, right, we would get a queen and for the 9th trick and a queen for the 10th trick. Well, good luck with that. So King of Spades is going to carry the trick, and we need to figure out how to maybe build winners. Might be even a better way to think about this, right? Is that we want either with Queen of Diamonds to win, or we want to build some club tricks. And we immediately we think of the finesse, right? The most common, or as Kelsey says, the commonest of all plays, and the thing we learn first of all, and the thing we take for granted. But there are different reasons, there are different aspects of the finesse to think about. One is, should you take a finesse at all? Two, as in a situation like this where we have only the ace of hearts as an entry to the dummy, which finesse should we take? Timing, should we be pulling trump before we take the finesse? So there's a lot of other issues here, right, that are involved, rather than just like, oh, bang down the, get in with the ace of hearts and lead it and finesse. Well, finesse which one? Should we pull trump before we finesse? The way to analyze this hand is to think about your chances of making tricks in the club suit. Right? Diamonds appear to be an all or nothing thing, basically a 50% chance. If either the king of diamonds is in east, if it's onside, or it's in west, it's offside. But the clubs, think back to last week, offer a little bit more of a chance to make tricks. Right? That is, if we can find the jack doubleton, or even the jack singleton in either hand, we can pick up another trick because our 10-9 combination will be promoted. Right? We're just missing the the king jack of clubs. And that is the reason why we're going to take the diamond finesse. The only way to get the queen of diamonds is on the finesse. We may be able to pick up club tricks another way, just like we did last week, where we basically crushed the suit down and get the 8 of spades as a signal to continue the spades from east. He does so. He leads it low, saying, hey, I have an honor in this suit. And we're able to finesse. To rough that one. So we have one shot here on the diamond suit. So why don't we go ahead and take it? Lead up to the ace of hearts, and then we're going to try this diamond finesse. If it wins, part of our problem is gone, and we can actually then go ahead and try to crush the jack of clubs somehow and promote our 10-9 combination. But unfortunately, as is the case often in lesson hands, the finesse loses. And it seems like they might continue with spade here, knowing that it won't be doing any damage to their partner's hand. Certainly not going to lead a club, either because he has the king of clubs and doesn't want to give it up, or because he doesn't want to get his partner's king of clubs finessed, right? So just kind of giving the devil his due here and playing playing a spade, a tricky note that will get roughed. So now we're in the position of having to crush the club suit. And how do we want to do this? Well, we probably want to pull trump, maybe first. At least maybe 1 round, 2 rounds. Looks like there's 1 heart out remaining. And I guess I see no reason not to pull it. Get a clue there. Well, it could be a false card, but it would appear that West is signaling if you get in you got to give me the king of clubs. I've got the king. And that pulls the last trump. All right, so what we want to do now is crush the club suit. Right? We'll play the ace of clubs. And then we play the queen of clubs. And what we're hoping is the jack of clubs drops here, which will promote our 10-9. We're going to lose the king of clubs here. He's not going to give us our 10th trick for fun. So now we just need to see the jack of clubs. And when that comes down, now we're in the cat seat. Right? Because now we can, we have the 9, we can get back to the ace of diamonds, and we have the 10. So 2 ways to make this contract, right? So let's say they lead the 10 of spades again. Make us use our last trump. Hoping that we mismanaged the trump suit somehow. Like that never happens. And we can cross over to the 10, which we promoted. Crushing the club suit the way that we learned how to do last week, and then leading back over to our ace of diamonds and claiming. So in this first problem from Kelsey's book, Test Your Finessing, we see a choice, which finesse first. And it turns out we take the diamond finesse and we never take the club finesse. And the reason why that we're thinking this way is because there's alternate ways to make tricks in the club suit that don't exist in the diamond suit. So we have to use our single entry in North, the ace of hearts, to take that diamond finesse. Otherwise, we'll never get a chance. Now, a little word about defense here, because I often see, in fact, better bridge players prey upon beginners who routinely underlead their honors on opening lead. Notice that West has both kings, and had he chosen to lead the 3 of clubs, right, leading fourth from their longest and strongest, actually spades is longest and strongest, and much better lead here. But let's say they chose to lead a club, right? We immediately get the queen, right, because we're fourth to play. So you should be thinking real hard about whether you want to underlead kings and queens. And just for the same reasons you don't want to underlead the ace of clubs on an opening lead, which is you give the smaller honors a chance to play last and maybe win a trick. You will make, it's a very aggressive opening lead, and you do it only when you're desperate to find your partner with honors in that suit. Because if they don't have the honors, then that means the declare does, and then you're just giving away tricks. All right, so let's try another. I guess with that one was sort of about which finesse to take. Partner opens 1 diamond. We get a pass on our left, and then what do I have? I have 6, 7, so I have 1 no trump. Classic way to wrong side, a strong side, a contract like this. Which is why many expert players will play a series of transfers over minors so that we don't wrong side contracts like this, which is exactly what happens, is that we get to see the strong hand go to 3 no trump, hiding the weak hand. And sometimes that helps if you happen to have a king or something that you need to protect in South's hand, but here we just simply wrong sided the contract. And everybody who plays standard will do the same. And let me see. I'm going to lead the 10 of spades. So chances are West is leading from a sequence 10, 9, 8. Right? It would be a common lead, a common safe lead at no trump, but he could be leading a doubleton, right? And trying to set up something in his partner's hand. Point-wise, our partner had a huge hand, right? 3, 10, 14, 18, 19 points, and had no problems jumping to 3 no trump. We are having entry problems once again because we have only the ace of spades as an entry to our hand. So now we're in a bit of a bind, a bit of a pickle here. We could finesse the clubs and get lots of tricks, right? Let's count our winners. We got the ace of diamonds for 1, the ace of clubs for 2, 2 hearts for 4, the ace of spades for 5. Now we know we're going to pick up another spade trick, right? We know we can pick up a spade trick by simply playing the queen of spades, right? Here, and they put the king on, and then we take our ace. And that will appeal to some people as the immediate way to do this. I will play the queen, right? If they cover with the king, I can use the ace, and then I'll get in my south hand, and I'll start leading honors. Queen, jack, right? And I will pick up the king of clubs, and that will give me all the tricks I need. But notice you got the ace 10 9 3 in North's hand. So there's a blocking problem. If you pitch the queen, if you play the queen of clubs and throw the queen underneath it, you might not be getting back to your hand because all East has to do is hold up, assuming East has the ace. Sorry, the king of clubs. But there's even a deeper problem than that, which is what if East has all the clubs? Now your hand is over because he'll simply wait until your third trick to take the king, and then you won't be able to get back over to South's hand. Right? He will simply hold up. Right? Will be a great defense play here. East, if he has king, right? What's missing? King's 3 small, right? Might have the 8 of clubs is missing, but if he had king, 8, and 2 more, right? All you can do by playing the king is promote your tricks, and defenders are not in that business. You don't always cover an honor with an honor when all you're doing is promoting the declarer's tricks. Right? So this is a little bit tricky. So let's say that we play the queen here, and he plays the king. Do you want to take this trick? Right? If you take this trick, you're going to be using your honor, your only entry to the long suit. Right? But since he's played the king, right, we now have another spade stopper, which is the jack of spades. So the right play here is to duck this. Right? Now you have 2 winners. You can win the next spade in your Norse hand, and maybe there's another way you can finagle these clubs. Right? And so this was a question of take the finesse or not. Right? First of all, do we take this spade finesse? And the answer is no, we don't. And the second one is, well, do we want to finesse the clubs? And as I've suggested, the clubs could easily be a losing play. First, because you're going to have issues with blocking, and second, because if the clubs are unbalanced and East has king 4th, you're actually not going to be able to make the contract. King 3rd even, right? Maybe. Well, we won't worry about that. The safe way to make this contract, though, is by not taking a finesse. Okay. Of course, he's going to lead a spade back. Again, duck it. Right? Now, he might not lead a spade back, given that he knows that his partner doesn't have the jack. But let's say he does. Makes it easy on us. Simply crush, just simply lose to the king is the way to handle this. Right? And you'll be rewarded when West shows out of clubs. Now you can go about unblocking, lead high, right? Because your problem is, I don't know why the dude is ducking here. I mean, the hand is over, but he is. And she could lead the 9 then. See if he takes it now. Well, he's going to duck it again. Maybe he thinks his partner has the ace of spades. And so he continues to duck. Seems like he should have figured that out when his partner started pitching spades, that he didn't have the ace of spades. But finally, you can play the 3 of clubs, and he's forced to take the king. So you're rewarded here for not taking the finesse, but instead finding the safe play. Don't expect that people will gladly take the king of clubs here on the first lead. If he has 4 of them, he's going to duck. Right? So this was a case of take the finesse or not. And when he finally gets back in, he's kind of in a problem. He has to lead into diamonds or hearts. Either way, it's not very attractive because he's out of spades. Put you on the board, kind of still hoping that you have no way back to your hand, but you have preserved the 5 of spades, the ace of spades in the dummy. Right? And now the hand becomes makeable. So in this hand, yeah, you could have finessed the clubs, but had you chosen to finesse the clubs, you would have lost. Instead, you get your queen. And you have 2 aces in the dummy. Right? Ace, you have 7 tricks in, get the ace of hearts, get the ace of diamonds, and you can claim. So here was another case where we saw a finesse immediately, right, in clubs, because we have this huge club suit. Just win the ace of spades and finesse. There's going to be a lot of times when that doesn't work for you, and you need to anticipate these problems. So that was a second problem in here, and it was a finesse or don't finesse, and also this concern that you have to have for your entry situation, right? When the long hand, the hand with all the cards you think you're going to score, only has 1 entry, you may have to accommodate the thing differently. All right, so now we come up with a good hand finally for Mr. Thick Skin. As you know, T. Skin spent a lot of time in the main bridge room when he was a learner, and people were constantly yelling at him. And so he became immune to it and just was able to learn how to play bridge without having his feelings hurt left and right all the time. Thick Skin. So partner opens. And Thick Skin, of course, is immediately going to be thinking about a slam. The partner has 13, and Thick Skin has 9, 6, 15 points, and he has a 7-card diamond suit that has an excellent chance of making at least 6 and maybe 7 diamond tricks. And then he has the ace of spades for 8 tricks. So if his partner even has 4 tricks, we're looking at slam, right? So how does he proceed? Well, this is an interesting bid. I like it, which is, I don't like weak jump shifts when not in competition. I can't think of a bigger waste of a bid than to use them that way. Instead, we're going to make an unalerted 2-diamond bid. Right? You have to alert the weak jump shift. Maybe you might not have known that. You have to alert the weak jump shift when you're not in competition. But the strong jump shift, you don't alert. That's because weak jump shift is a wasted bid. It's an unusual treatment, not worth the time. Basically, it's a bid that says, I got 6 of these and no chance of game. Hope you have a couple. Otherwise, we got problems. It's not very preemptive most of the case. I mean, maybe a weak jump shift to spades might be preemptive, but most of them aren't preemptive. If opponents have the hand, right here, if they have a major fifth, they're going to find it if this is a weak jump shift, and your weak jump shift will just encourage them to do it. So I encourage you, as you develop your partnerships, get rid of all those weak jump shifts. You've already maybe doing it when you're using Bergen bids, right, where you have gotten rid of all the weak jump shifts to the minors after a major opening. Right? Find a way to get rid of them when you're weak, over a minor as well. This is an excellent treatment, basically saying, I have slam interest and I have a great diamond suit, or I'm too suited with diamonds. A number of ways to play it, but what's going to happen here, knowing that his partner has a great diamond, has at least 5 diamonds, he's going to support. There's still some question in Norse mind whether they should be in no trump or diamonds, but if there's going to be if his partner has long diamonds, this is clearly going to be a slam try. And with that, I'm going to give a control bid. Right? We've got a game force in place. The 2 diamonds is the game force. Game force in place, and we picked out trump diamonds, so I think it's safe to assume we are going to be bidding controls here. The 3 of spades says I don't have a heart control. I don't have first or second round control of hearts, but I can handle the spades. And then it's up to, with that information, it's quite enough for, oops, that's not going to do that. Quite enough for North to make a key card asking bid. See the value of having a strong jump shift? And here we have 1, the ace of spades, ace of diamonds, the king of diamonds. So 3 of them. So we're going to bid, if we're playing 1430, we would bid diamonds. If we're playing 0314, which I find a little easier with minor slams, we show 3 with the 5 of clubs, and we get a queen asking bid. Queen asking bid, which we will get a positive response to with this bid that says, yes, I have the queen, but I don't have the king of spades. Okay? So with that information, we're going to stop at 6 diamonds. And we get a heart lead. So this is, we see immediately, right? If we've been playing very long at all, we immediately see that we can try the heart finesse, right? We can go up with the queen, and if West is under leading the king, we get a trick right off the bat. Our eyes also turn to the finesse and the spades. Right? We can get a lead at the ace queen of spades. Maybe we can win that one. So we have a finesse that goes into West hand. We have a finesse that goes into East hand. How many winners do we have? Well, because our partner was kind enough to come down with Jack third in their trump suit, we have 7 diamond tricks, 8 with the ace of spades, 9 with the ace of hearts, and 10, 11 with the clubs. Right? So we're only looking for one more trick. One more trick. Why not just take 2 finesses? Right? I mean, 2 finesses, 2 50% chances. There's some math here, but I'm guessing that if you have 2 50% chances, that your chances of one of them being good is improved. But that's math beyond me. Maybe you have that math. I know some of you actually do, having talked to a couple of you now. But maybe there's still a better way. Take a look at the club suit. Right? We have 7. So if they're 3-3, right, all we have to do is play the ace king and rough one out, and then we get 2 club tricks. If they're 4-2, right, all we have to do is rough out 2 club tricks, and the last club will be good. Right? Remember, we're only looking for one trick. So basically, we're saying if we can get as a minimum of a 4-2 break in the club suit, we can make this contract without taking a finesse. Right? Once again, forget the finesse. Right? Is that chance of 4-2 better than the 50% chance? The answer is yeah, it is. So how to handle it? Well, first of all, you duck. Right? I mean, because there's always a chance that that somewhere along the line somebody's going to have to play back into your ace queen. Right? That's an end play. That would happen at the end of the hand, and you would actually, because if they were in, you would be trying to preserve yourself from going 2 down. But more importantly, you've actually preserved the chance that you could take the finesse, right? If for some reason the clubs break 5-1, right, and you can't set them up, well, you still haven't given up the chance that West has the king of hearts. Right? So this is a better play. Ace queen up there, and we get the jack of hearts here. Preserve, I can't remember what Kelsey has to lead back. As he says, the right move on the sand is to postpone the heart finesse. East can't return the heart, right? So he's going to switch someplace else. Where do you think he'll switch, right? He's going to switch to the spades. Okay. And now the question is, should you take the ace of spades now? Are you compelled? I mean, just because there's a chance of a finesse, are you compelled to take it? The answer is no. You're preserving that heart finesse for a chance later on. In the meantime, you're thinking if you can just get a decent club split, right, 4-2, you can set this up without a problem. So win the trick. It's not the spade finesse that's going to win this for you. It's going to be either the spades break, or the clubs break right, or you'll take the heart finesse in desperation. So what next? Well, since we're playing for a 4-2 split, right, the first thing we need to do is we might as well actually just kind of take our 2 tricks. Right? We'll find out we're going down here if they don't break anyways when we get roughed in here. But I think the odds here are not bad at all. Probably could have pulled trump first, but we need that jack of diamonds as an entry. So we breathe easier when they split that way. And we continue a club. And it gets roughed. So they're 4-2, right? They had 6 of them, they followed twice, and then East showed out and roughed in. We have no concerns about this, and we rough high. Just go ahead and take the club. And we can pull trump now without difficulty. Preserving that jack of diamonds, right, as an entry. Remember, we have the ace of hearts as an entry, too. Right? And now we play another club. And we know that they're going to rough, and if they would like to rough it this time. Actually, we got to get over there first, all right? We have to rough it again because West still has the higher club. Right, so, oops, I meant to go over there. Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. I meant to play high. We can waste a spade here. The correct play would have been to play up to the diamond. The jack of diamonds. I clicked the wrong one. I'm not going to go back and do that, right? Because we still have the ace of hearts. Would have been a critical error without the ace of hearts as an entry. But now I can rough out the last club. And there goes the queen. So instead of a knee-jerk reaction of, I'm going to take all these finesses, right? We looked at that 5-2 split in clubs with the ace, king, queen, and thought, or ace, king, and thought if I can get a 3-3 break or a 4-2 break, right? That's 2 chances of the most common splits with 6 cards out, and 2 chances there that we can set up our 12th trick in the 8 of clubs, which is what we've done here. So now we just lead up to the ace of hearts, no longer needing the finesse. And we lead the ace, eight clubs. And we pitch our losing spade on it. Right? Now we just have 2 trump left. And we can claim. So see, what we've done here is we had 2 finesses available, and as beginners we tend to think, oh, a finesse, it's going to work, it'll be great, but the answer is no. Maybe there's another way. I had a law professor, and the other way here, just to wrap this hand up, is by looking at those clubs and recognizing that if they split 3-3, which is like a 40% chance or something, 42% chance, or if they split 4-2, which is even a much better chance, right? Then we are doing much better than taking our 50% chance that one of the finesses will work. And actually, because there's 2 finesses, it's even higher than that. But the odds of getting a favorable club split were so much better that we should just try to set up the clubs. Also, by ducking the first heart, we haven't given up the chance that the king of hearts is in west. And if it turns out the clubs are splitting 5-1, right, which is a very unlikely scenario, then we can still go back and try to get our 12th trick by finessing the queen of hearts. So we preserved the finesse and took a plan B, actually the plan A, which was to set up the clubs, but preserved our plan B, which was taking the heart finesse. The Kelsey book is fun. I recommend it if you can find it. And it's something I use when we're doing private lessons. We'll use a lot of these books and hands from these books when I think they illustrate the problem the best. And certainly have used them in my own continuing, stress that word, continuing education. I have so much to learn about this game. I had a law professor that taught teaching property, and he would never, in the way law school works is they read you a case that happened for a long time ago, and it has a rule in it, and now you know the rule of law. Well, there's always a rule of law, and then there's exceptions. And this law professor never used a case in which he taught you the rule. He always showed you a bunch of exceptions, and then you figured out what the rule was because all you were learning was exceptions. The Kelsey book is a lot like that. There is hand after hand in which he shows you that there's a better way than a finesse. Right? Sometimes 50% is all you have, but it will really pay to look a little bit harder and deeper before you just grab that 50%. All right, so Wednesday we'll be doing random hands, I think. That all the hands I've got for Wednesday are random, just from robot games and such. But I wanted to set it all up with these first 3 hands from Kelsey. Take care.